One of the biggest questions of any collectors, whether they're new or seasoned, is how should I display my collection? What kind of display cases should I use? Today I'm going to talk about what I use in the Extreme Collection. Thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X. I have a lot of collectibles, I think 4 or 5, and tons of people ask me, what do you use to display them? On my room tour videos, one of my biggest questions is, what are those cases behind you? And we're going to talk about that today. I primarily use 3 different cases and or display units to display my high-end collectibles. For the longest time, IKEA's kind of been the front runner, and I don't have any experience with IKEA in regards to displaying collectibles. But I've actually never bought any IKEA related stuff for my statues other than some lighting. If your question is about IKEA Stuvas or Detolfs or something like that, this is not the video for you. However, what we are going to talk about today is the 3 different types of displays I use. Now ideally I'd like to have the same displays everywhere. However, just like any collector, my collection has built over time, and I don't want to replace old display units that I've paid money for and still work well. Plus, certain displays have size limitations and issues. We're going to talk about displays that cost $30, ones that cost $70, and ones that cost $500. And each obviously has its own pro and con, and it's up to you to determine what fits in your budget, what will fit both figuratively and literally in your collection. So maybe some of these are options for you. So let's dive into the 3 different ones. I have some here in my home, I have some at my office, and I have some at both. But before we do, we are actually doing a giveaway. We are giving away a statue. I'm filming this right on the cusp of us giving away 2 different statues, so I don't know which one it's gonna be. However, to enter into that contest, you have to make sure you've liked this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. But let's dive into the 3 different types. The first option we're looking at is the Better Home & Garden cubes from Walmart. That's right, these are called Better Home & Garden cubes. They're called cubes because typically there's a shelf insert that divides the inside into 4 different sections. Now, the nice thing about this, it comes in a plethora of colors. The height is pretty decent. It's a little over 27 inches. You can check out the website for the exact specs. They're about 31 inches wide, and you can kind of build them on with other things. They hold about 100 pounds, but if you're ever cautious on the weight, you can put 2 of them next to each other to help support that weight. I've never had an issue with them collapsing. Now, some disadvantages is because they're really built to have cubes, there's little holes on the top and bottom of where those cubes would normally plug in. Not really a huge deal. You also have to come up with some type of lighting. I have these LED lights that I buy from Amazon that hook up via remote, so I don't have to have cords in the floor. But these hold a lot of weight. You can essentially also stack them on each other. So here, the bottom of this one is removed, because I used to have it stacked on top of this in a different area of the home. Or I think it was at my office, doesn't matter. But so these are a great option, and you can really, put them however you want. They can be lined up against a wall. You can do a center display in the room. Here's one because I have some more transformer pieces coming in. Now the assembly is also very easy. Takes me probably about 5 minutes to assemble one nowadays. They range $40 to $70 depending on. When I started building my collection, these were the first shelves I got, and at that time they were only $30, but the price for these has really gone up. I don't know if because of supply and demand, if because the manufacturing of them, but they can hold a ton of weight. And here I have 2 of them together to hold Shockwave, but so they're definitely a great option. And the fact you can get them in a number of different color schemes as well. You can order them online or look at them in the store. I don't think at my store, they don't really have them on display. Whether you have them lined up against the wall or in the middle of a room like I do. I think these are great for starting out, especially if you have some smaller pieces. But as you get larger pieces, it limits your display ability, as it always does, especially with taller pieces. So these are the Better Home & Garden from Walmart. And this is the second option. So these are called Edsel, E-D-S-A-L, and they make them in a number of sizes. I want to say this one is up to 72 inches tall with 24-inch depth. And again, you can adjust the different sizes, 48 inches wide. Now it says the entire weight will hold 800 pounds with 200 pounds to a shelf. While aesthetically, I think these are the least pleasing, one nice thing they do is there's so much room you can spread things out, which makes it look better. And they're a nice in-between price starter. You can get them between $60 and $90 each, depending where you buy them. On Amazon, you can get packs of 2 or 4 or 6. Lots of room. And then you've probably seen some other videos where people get really fancy and they put black cloth on them, they put a black cardboard background, and then you can even get acrylic Velcro for the front like you're gonna see when we look at the Moducases. So these are Edsel, 72 inch, and they come with 5 shelves, so you can put the shelves at any level you want. So if you have smaller figures, you can definitely have all 5 shelves on here, or 4 or 3 or 2, just however you want it to look. So definitely another great option, especially from a cost-saving perspective. You can get a ton of figures on this. I mean, realistically, this shelf probably could have had 4 levels, and it's, you know, $65 or so. So this is kind of, in my opinion, the intermediary option, or possibly even a starter option for you. And it doesn't look that bad inside, even though these are technically classified as garage shelves. And for all of these, I will leave links in the description of the video. And our last option is the most expensive. These are Moducases. So a lot of things I want to cover with this. I have done a review on these when I first bought them in an assembly video. So while the basics haven't changed, some of the stuff I've learned about them has. Now first, there's 2 different series that they make. One is the DF series, which is what you're looking at now, which essentially is a 24 inch by 24 inch by 24 inch cube base. So here's the actual DF cube. It's called the DF60. There's another cube next to it. And then they have the Max series, which is about 4 or 5 inches taller, wider, deeper. Here's a comparison between the DF and a Max. Now everything's built on a cube base. So what that I mean by that is you can buy it by the cube. You can buy a double cube, so not 2 cubes, but kind of a double cube wide right here, or even tall right here. So 2 stacked high. You can also stack them on each other. So these are this model number is a DF120. There are 2 of them stacked on each other. Does come with lighting that you have to install. I have mine set up on a remote, just like I did with the Better Home and Garden. These are plugged into the wall, though they're not battery operated. And you can do your own lighting, of course, too. Now regarding weight, they have weight restrictions on their website. You can check it out, Moducase. And it differs between the DF and the Max. And with the DF, you can get additional weight supports, which essentially is underneath the shelving. You have additional screws and latches that you install. But I've had 150 plus pounds on them with no issues on each level. I wouldn't recommend that, and don't say Mr. X said it's okay. But the thing about this is, so this right here is kind of your basic, what most collectors get. Now I know there's a broken part right here. They did send me a replacement piece, I just haven't put it on yet because I've been so busy. With these guys, it's expensive. So for example, the DF120 here, which I think is 48 inches wide, 24 inches deep, 24 inches tall, around $300 plus. Now, inside of it, we have about $3,000 worth of statues. So the real question is that worth it? To me, it's kind of a no-brainer, a 10% investment to protect your collection, make it look better. So Moducases are a great way to go. However, you don't want to jump in on day one, especially if you have a large collection, and buy all your Moducase needs, because they can also do custom aspects too. And I don't get any kickbacks for advertising them. But you want to kind of budget that. Okay, every 5 statues you buy, set aside another $300, $400 for a Moducase. Now again, they can support all types of weight. This actually isn't very heavy in my opinion because it's lighter premium formats that I have up there. But I've had really heavy custom throne pieces on top of here, or Spider-Man, or Alien, or Predator, which weigh quite a bit. So a lot of advantages to these. One thing I do want to talk about the top. So the bottoms of these each have a felt board. The top does not. This is something I got special. So essentially it's a wood board with felt around it, just like they come with in the bottoms. So that allows you to hold that kind of weight on top, where normally it's a piece of cardboard on top, so it would fall right through. And you have a number of different options. So this is with felt. This is kind of a vinyl material. It is steel on the sides, and then acrylic or steel poles, and then you have acrylic pieces on the front and sides. The ones on the front have a little bit of felt lining, then magnets and screws to hold them in place. So it's easy to remove. It's very easy to remove, actually. So I think Moducases are a great option. Like I said, they can do custom displays as well. I have more on order for my theater room, and I have probably about 12 grand worth of Moducases, but it's less than 10% of the collection too. So definitely a good option if you can afford it. If you can't and you still want to go this way, just think about it. Every $3,000 worth of statues you buy, you have to budget $300 for a display. That makes it more attainable, in my opinion. So that is the summary on Moducases. So today in the comments, let me know which ones you guys use, or if you're going to try some of these out. If you do, make sure to tell them Mr. X sent you. I'm just kidding. They don't care who sent you. I get no kickbacks. I'm just sharing my experiences and my pros and cons with each one. So let me know in the comments though what you've used, what you intend to use. Maybe you found something other collectors can use, so check out those comments too. I bet you there's going to be tons of good information in there. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this video helped you. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But hit that Mr. X logo to see other collecting related content and some off the wall stuff too. Or check out some of these other miscellaneous videos. Talk to you tomorrow. Take care.